everyone and welcome to the Bookish Favourites tag. I don't really have any kind of introduction to this, so let's just get right into the questions. Question number 1 is to name 5 books that define your taste. So first of all, Skullduggery Pleasant, because I love a middle grade, I also love funny books, I love fantasy books, and I also love books that are filled with pop culture references, which this one definitely does. I'm also a fan of slightly spookier fantasy books as well, and this definitely delivers on that as well, and I just love it, and this one definitely kind of sums up my taste overall. It definitely was a massive part of why I love the books I love now, and I just adore it, and I will take basically any chance to talk about it, to be perfectly honest with you. There is also Vicious, because this is about morally grey superpower people trying to kill each other, which is a plot line I absolutely love. I love morally grey characters as well. I will read basically anything that involves morally grey superpower people, and this delivered it in absolute spades. I also have to mention Legendborn, because I love a contemporary fantasy and I also love retellings, and this one absolutely nails the brief on both of those points excellently, and I will recommend this to anyone who listens. Something is Killing the Children, because this is a horror graphic novel and I love graphic novels and I obviously read them by the absolute metric ton, but also because I love horror as well and I'm slowly learning my horror tastes, but I do know that James Tynion is going to hit on the horror front every single time. And finally, I'm also going to mention Spy X Family, because I love a manga. Question number 2 is books you were obsessed with during different eras of your life. The first one I need to mention is Nurse Matilda. I was obsessed with this series when I was a kid. I absolutely loved it, and one of my earliest memories of reading books is of reading this one and listing out all of the kids' names, because with every book it grew more and more and more and more, and I think by the end of the third one I think there was about 40 of them, if I remember rightly. And what I love doing is counting up all of those kids and then figuring out what they're all doing and the shenanigans they're getting up to and all of this kind of thing, and I just love this series so much and really enjoyed the movie of Nanny McPhee as well. Then when I got into like my early teen years, I was definitely a Skullduggery girl. I'm still a Skullduggery girl, I won't lie. Obviously I am. I talk about the series a lot on this channel, but I was obsessed with this when I was a kid. And actually when we had a school dress up day when I was about 12 and we had to dress up as book characters, I went as Valkyrie, and I severely wish I had photos of this. I do not, but I definitely went as Valkyrie. Then when I was a later teen, I was obsessed with Twilight like everybody was. I was Team Edward. I adored Edward. I thought he was fantastic. I loved all of the vampires. I'm saying I was Team Edward. I was Team Jasper. I won't lie, I was like, Edward is great, Jacob is fine, but Team Jasper. I was 100% Team Jasper, but in the great Edward versus Jacob debate, I was Team Edward. And then when I got to my early 20s, I was obsessed with House of M. I won't lie, I'm still obsessed with House of M, because this is one of the greatest Marvel events ever made. I adore this one so much. I talk about this all of the time. I am constantly looking for references and things within the MCU and hints that they're going to be doing this storyline, because I'm desperate to see it on screen, and it is just absolutely fantastic. It is brilliant. And at the moment I'm not really obsessed with any kind of particular book, but I am obsessed with morally grey characters like the ones in Vicious. I am also still obsessed with Skullduggery, I'm still obsessed with House of M, but I am also obsessed with any book that can give me morally grey characters as well. So while this is not a book I am completely and utterly obsessed with at the moment, and it is not really defining my late 20s, the kind of characters that are involved in it very much are. Question number 3 is your favourite genres, and I'm going to say fantasy, because that is the majority of what I read. I also really love a Marvel superhero, if you couldn't tell by my shelf, the House of M and everything else, and then also my Fantastic Four t-shirt I'm currently wearing. So also superheroes, and then also I do quite like sci-fi as well. Question number 4 is your favourite authors. I mean, V. Schwab has to be on there, because this entire bit is my Schwab shelf. It is literally now full to the brim, and I'm going to have to figure out what to do next, because I've got a pile of books over here from other people that I'm going to have to eventually move to fit more V. Schwab on there. Also Derek Landy, I've been reading him since I was 11 years old. I am not going to stop now, and this entire thing all the way around is just Derek Landy, and admittedly just Skullduggery Pleasant actually, but there we go. But I love his Skullduggery work, I love his Marvel work, specifically like this one, which is Doctor Strange in Asgard, and then also the Falcon and the Winter Soldier Cut Off One Head is one of my all-time favourite comics. I've also got to mention N.K. Jemisin here, because I've read the Broken Earth trilogy, I've also read the City We Became series, and then I'm also currently reading, as of right now, How Long Till Black Future Month, and I've loved everything she's ever written. I have absolutely adored all of it. She is a genius and I adore her work. I've also got to mention Elle McNichol as well, because she writes Own Voices books for autism and dyspraxia, which is something I also have, and they are so relatable. It's unbelievable. I adore her work. She is one of the only authors to ever nearly make me cry with a book, which is not exactly easy to do because I'm not a book crier, but she has managed it several times already. I've also got to mention Leigh Bardugo because I love Six of Crows. I also love Ninth House as well, Demon in the Wood, and admittedly there's still a few of her books that I still need to read, but I know I'm going to really love them. And finally, I also need to mention James Tynion, who is over here, because his work is absolutely incredible. And while I am new to horror and I'm still learning what I love about horror, I know that if I am reading a James Tynion, I know that I'm going to be in for a damn good time. Question number 5 is your favourite form of reading, and I quite frankly like all of them. I will say that I prefer paperbacks out of everything, out of audiobooks, ebooks, and then also hardbacks and paperbacks. I prefer the paperback just because I can hold them that little bit easier. Like I said, I am dyspraxic, so I can find holding things for long times very difficult, but I will say that paperbacks are the easiest for me, and also I just prefer them as a format. Question number 6 is your favourite book characters, and I've got to start with Victor Vale. I think he is brilliant. I love his moral greyness. I think he is fantastic to read about. Also Kel Moresh, because I just adore him. There aren't words to describe how much I love Kel Moresh from A Darker Shade of Magic. Tanith Lowe I also need to mention because I think she is fantastic. I love all of the characters of Skullduggery, but Tanith is the one I definitely want to know more about and read more about in spin-offs and things, because I think she is fantastic and I always love seeing what she's getting up to. Aru Shah, because she's incredibly relatable, because she is a massive nerd and I really love that about her. I also think she's really funny, which I really adore, and she also is constantly making pop culture references, which is something I do as well. And then finally, I also need to mention Gwenpool here as well, because quite frankly Gwenpool is living the life I want, in the sense that she is a massive Marvel nerd and got stuck in Marvel comics and is now running around as a kind of superhero and hanging out and living with the mutants, and quite frankly that is the life I want. She's also incredibly relatable to me in terms of her level of fangirling. She's also asexual like I am. She's also a romantic, which I am not, but I absolutely adore her. I relate to her on so many levels, and she's definitely one of my favourite characters. Question number 7 is your favourite series, and that has got to be Darker Shade of Magic. I adore this series. I think it is fantastic. Skullduggery Pleasant, again, because it's Skullduggery. I've grown up with this series. It surprises me every single time and leaves me speechless as I am reading it. I adore it. And I've also got to say Aru Shah as well, because I found this series so much fun to read about. I adored every single second of reading it. Question number 8 is a series that you're excited to finish, and I'm going to say Ninth House, because I've read the first book in this series and have not continued it yet, despite the fact that I am desperate to, as well as the Darkwood series, which is a fairy tale retelling I really enjoy, and also Her Majesty's Royal Coven, because I am currently on book 2 at the moment and absolutely loving every single second of reading it. Question number 9 is a series you're excited to start. I'm going to say the Dresden Files for this one, because I know I really enjoyed the TV show when I was a kid. Like, I loved the TV show when I was a kid, and then I never read the books because I was too young for the books, and then I heard recently, like last year I think it was, that it feels very much like an adult Skullduggery, and I went, well okay, I'm in then. So definitely want to be reading that one soon. It's on my priority list for this year, so I am hopefully going to start it. Question number 10 is a book that you predict is going to be a 5-star read, and I'm going to say Somedina by Akwaeke Emezi, because I have really enjoyed their other works, and this one sounds right up my alley. It's meant to have like otherworldly powers and this kind of thing, which is something I really enjoy, and I just predict that this one is definitely going to be a 5-star. Question number 11 is your favourite special edition or favourite cover, and I don't really have that many special editions, to be honest, and all my special editions are Darker Shade of Magic, so I'm just going to go with my favourite book cover at the moment, so I'm not speaking about Darker Shade of Magic again, because I will go on about it forever, but instead I'm going to say The Dark Becomes Her by Judy L. Lim, because I mean, this cover is just absolutely stunning front and back, and I am obsessed with it at the moment. Question number 12 is, if you could buy a book right now, what would you buy just for fun? And I'm going to say The Dead Cattail Assassins by Peter Jelly Clark, because this one just sounds absolutely incredible, and I've heard amazing things about it and also about this author, and I've never read anything by them before, and it's about time I did, and this one is just really intriguing me right now. Question number 13 is your favourite Bookish merch and your favourite Bookish stores, and I'm first going to say the Patchwork Jewelstore, because they make these gorgeous sword bookmarks which I'm obsessed with and I'm desperate to own one. The Geek and Arty store also does all of these beautiful pins that I'm also obsessed with and I'm desperate to own. And then also Tales and Tomes does these really fun stickers and bookmarks and everything else, and again I am desperate to own some. And finally, question number 14 is your favourite Bookish creators, and I've got 3 I want to quickly mention. The first one is Olivia Savannah of Olivia's Catastrophe. I always love all of her videos. She has some fantastic recommendations from picture books all the way up to adult books. She reads so widely. I love all of her recommendations. I also have to mention Abby of Pellinor here as well, because again I love her recommendations. We have a very similar taste in books as well, which is absolutely fantastic. She also reads a lot of non-fiction as well, which is fascinating to hear about. I do not read anywhere near enough non-fiction, so I love her non-fiction recommendations as well. And then finally as well, I have to mention Hannah from Ladder M, who has some fantastic taste as well. She is also the person who runs Waypoint Books Full-Moon subscription box, and she nails my taste every single time with her recommendations, so I have to shout her out as well. And that is the end of the Bookish favourites tag, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, tell me your favourite Bookish creator, I'd love to know. Or if you don't have that much time, leave me a book stack emoji down below to let me know that you were here. I'll also leave a link as well down below to all my social media if you want to check it out, including to my Etsy store. If you want to treat yourself to something bookish today, or if you just want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But till next time everyone, bye!